Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Hump Day. Is it today? Yeah, today is Wednesday. Uh, Dr. Tony McNeil here with another pop up with Dr. T. How are you all doing this afternoon? Come on in the space and let me know that you have joined. I would love to uh, know who's with us this afternoon. Type your city and state where you're from so I can get a sense of who is in the room. I am here this afternoon to talk with Senior Pastor Justin Griffith and Nikki Bradley, who are from Open Arms Charlotte. It is a church in Charlotte, North Carolina, and they are looking for a new part-time minister of music. And we thought we would come on today to just bring some recognition to the open position that is available on my website at drtonymcneil.com/jobs. And to have those of you that may have been looking at the position to give you a chance to meet some of the people connected to that ministry. So if you are on, just say, hey, how you doing? Cat, dog, whatever. It would be good to know that you are in the space. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Today, again, we're going to be having a conversation with Pastor Justin Griffith and Nikki Bradley from Open Arms, Charlotte, North Carolina. They are actively seeking a part-time minister of music to serve their community. And I'm going to go ahead and bring both of them to the stage and we can start talking about the position. Some of you have probably seen it advertised on the various platforms, my Facebook page here, on YouTube, on Instagram, on my call to worship page. And so we're going to just have a chance to add a human face and personality, or two human faces and personalities to this job so that we can learn more about them. Hey, Dr. Roberto Burton, thank you so much for joining, man. So let me pull Pastor Justin and Nikki to the stage. Let's welcome them. Good afternoon, folks. How are you?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you, guys.
Welcome to the pop-up. It is so good to have both of you here. And I hope you all are enjoying your day today. How's the weather in Charlotte?
Rainy, cold.
Yeah. Same here in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Same here. Well, welcome and thank you for being here. We are here to discuss the position that you all have available at your church. Pastor Justin Griffin is here, and Nikki Bradley, who is a member of the church and a member of the search team. Right. So in a way of just getting to know each of you individually, introduce yourselves above and beyond what I just said so that people know who you are. Pastor, I want to start with you.
Hey, everyone. Hope you guys are doing well. My name is Justin Griffith, born and raised in Mississippi, married a Charlottean, and here I am. I live here in the Charlotte area. I am the husband to Kim Griffith, and we have 4 wonderful boys they are eating up everything in this house, growing like trees, and causing me to have headaches all the time. Along with the 4 boys, we also have a new church that's 4 years old. And with the new church, from starting from the ground, I get into this, but starting the time when COVID started and started from the ground all the way to where we are right now, we've seen God do some amazing things. And this piece of it is a part of what God is doing. So we are excited about seeing who God is going to bring. We're excited about meeting new people, hearing new sounds. And that's just part of where we are right now. Growing pains we are going through, but we thank God for those growing pains.
Excellent. Nikki, tell us who you are.
I'm Nikki Bradley. I have been a member at Open Arms since day one during COVID. I'm sure we'll talk about how that started in a bit, but I've also known Justin and Kim for many years. And so when they decided to start the church, we had all gone to, a lot of us had gone to another church together. And when they said they were going to open this one, my husband and I just knew we had to be a part of it. So, yeah, I'm a native Charlottean as well. And actually grew up with Dr. McNeil. So I'm excited that we were able to have his help to find someone for this position right now.
Yeah. Thank you for entrusting me with the opportunity. So let's get into it. Pastor Griffin, why start a church? Where did the vision and the desire to start the church come from? And can you give us a little background history on who Open Arms, who and what Open Arms is?
Yeah, man. Yeah. So starting the church is something that I did not want to do. I grew up in the church. Coming from Mississippi, my dad is still a Baptist pastor down there, 38 years. And you know, that part of the country is all about that fire and brimstone. Yeah. So I was raised in that. And then seeing, you know, we all talk about the good side of church. It's very seldom do you hear about the bad side of church, the things that most people don't want to talk about. And here I am raised in that. And then once I got a chance to go to college, man, I don't think I went to church for a good 6 months or something like that. Because once you get, I talk about this to Kim all the time. It's amazing how you can go to church every day of the week when you're growing up. You go to choir rehearsal on Tuesdays, Bible study on Wednesday, back to another choir rehearsal on Saturday, and then Sunday you're doing it all over again, and then Monday you back in school. That got old quick. And so when I got out of that whole world, I got away from it. But moving from that, God has always put me on platforms where I had to be on the stage to speak. Young people and older people, always taking me on these platforms, man, had a chance to be on the platform at Free Chapel, which is a church is in Gainesville, Georgia. Left there while I was playing professional football, left Atlanta, went to Oakland, met another great pastor by the name of Napoleon Kaufman, got on his platform to help out with the young people. It was always something that he was out, look, I'm going to train you in this and train you in that. And once I had finished my coaching career and I came back to Charlotte, had a chance to be a part of the youth program at a church we used to go to previously, where I was a part of the Arrows class and teaching the youth. And then I became men's director and then became a part of a teaching team. And then COVID hit. And then all of a sudden I got still enough to hear God say, hey, it's time for you to start a church.
Wow.
I got still enough to hear him. I think during COVID, everybody got into a place where you had to be still a little bit. You had to hear God's voice one more time, hear God talk again. And God said, I want you to start this church. Well, I challenged God. I said, well, God, if you want me to start this church, you got to come get me out of my backyard, because I'm not going to start a church. And I can tell you this, 2 weeks later, I had a lady that called us. And she was, I have to come talk to you and Kim. I said, all right, we are going to, let's just say, I think we had Boy Scouts or something like that. We're going to Boy Scouts. We'll be back. It'll be late when we get back. Would you like to talk tomorrow? She insisted that we had talked today. And so when we got there and we got back home about 7 o'clock, sure enough, we were in the backyard letting the boys play. And this lady comes in the backyard and she comes to me with a seed. And she said, God told me to bring this back here. He told me to tell you to do exactly what he is telling you to do.
Wow.
Start your ministry. And from that day forward, I have never looked back. I started it, and we started that. We started the first Sunday in 2021. We started Open Arms, CLT, on Zoom. We were going twice a month.
First and third, yeah.
First and third Sundays, we did that for a while. Then all of a sudden we got very ambitious and we said, you know what? We want to come out of Zoom and we want to go to parking lot. Well, lo and behold, my in-laws, they own daycare centers. So we went to a daycare parking lot straight after Zoom. And that was our first Easter service in this parking lot.
Okay.
And so we went there, and then we stayed in the parking lot for a while, and it started getting hot. And all of a sudden, we had an opportunity to go into a dance studio. We moved the church to a dance studio. Well, we had another church that were having service in the dance studio. They got mad because we were sharing the space. They did not like us in there. And so the owner of the dance studio basically said, you know what? I need to be loyal to them. They've been here longer than you guys. You guys, this is your last Sunday having church. And so here we are. We moved again. We went back to the parking lot. And at that moment, personally, as a pastor, I had to make a decision. Is this ministry something I want to do right now? After hearing God tell me, I want you to do it. And I was challenged. My boys, we have been fortunate enough, and you guys let me know if I go too long. My boys, I was challenged one time. My boys, we have a few runners in our family. So we have the oldest one and the second one and the third one. Mm-hmm. They run in the Junior Olympics every year. And we were in Jacksonville, and I got this call from the dance from the dance studio saying that we could not have service in the building. So we drove from Jacksonville after the Junior Olympics. We drove all the way back from Jacksonville, got to Charlotte, and we knew this was getting ready to be a hot weekend. We're talking about temperatures like 95 degrees. And here I am. I'm like, hey, man, we cannot have these people in the parking lot. We cannot go back to Zoom. So what are we going to do? So I went to Lowe's and bought all these big industrial fans. The problem with it, you got to put these fans together. And at the time, I didn't have a whole leadership team to put these fans together. So I stayed up all night putting these fans together and had these things delivered to service. And right in the middle of service, the sun is beaming down. We have the fans going. And at that moment, here I am crying. And I'm saying, God, I've said to myself, God, this is going to be my last Sunday speaking at this church. I don't want to do this. Boy, after service, there was a lady across the street that was playing tennis. See, God knows how to get you right where you are. There was a lady playing tennis across the street. She heard what was going on over there, heard our service, heard the song. She came over from the tennis courts, sweat and all, sat down in our church service, sat there the whole church service, and after church service, ran up and gave me one of the sweatiest hugs I've ever received in my life. And she told me, the lady told me, God told me to be here today. I needed to hear what you were saying today. This is the point in my life where God knows where you are, and he's going to send a word to you when you are questioning what you're doing. And ever since then, God is always, see, I had to go through something to qualify to be in that position. You had to almost get to a point where you're ready to quit before he steps in. And I got to that point. And then after that day, God opened the door for us to be in the gym now. So we're in Ridge Road Middle School. After you go through the test, now you get the blessing. Now the door is open. And we've been serving in there now for 4 years.
Gotcha. Wonderful, wonderful. Man, that what a journey. What a journey indeed. For those of you that are joining, I have with me today in a pop-up conversation, Pastor Justin Griffith and one of the members of Open Arms Charlotte, Miss Nikki Bradley, here to talk about the part-time position they have available for a minister of music. And many of you have seen the post on my Facebook page and on my website on the job board there for this position. It's the Open Arms CLT. That's the church that I'm referring to. Yeah. So Nikki, you have in your introduction, you said that you are one of the charter members, one of the founding members of Open Arms. Tell us a little bit about your experience as a member and as a leader in the church.
Yeah, I was on that first Zoom service. My husband and I were. So we've been steady with the church ever since, and we both came from leadership positions at our past church. And I think neither one of us was really anxious to jump back in to leadership again so soon. you know, we had both experienced some church hurt.
Yeah.
And that has been, I think that's actually become one of the defining components of this church. We get a lot of people who have experienced church hurt. And Pastor Justin talks about that we are a church that has a ministry of reconciliation, of bringing people back to relationship with Christ. And I don't think that for us, we never lost that relationship, but we were a little gun shy of stepping back into leadership. But this was the type of church from the time that it started. You know, we used to talk about that this is a community church. It has always been a kind of all hands on deck thing. Like, people come and they just want to be a part of it. They want to, it really is true to the name of the church. That's what we hear all the time, that people feel very welcome. They feel like we had a couple visitors this weekend, and they were like, you know, I had so many people come up and speak to me and say hi and ask me how I was doing, and asking me about my kids, and, you know, and a lot of people aren't used to that, but that's just that's the environment that we're in. So I know for me, those are the kind of churches you want to see grow. Places where people can come and heal, places where people can come and experience God in a new way, and where they feel like they're part of a community. And so that was why my husband and I both jumped in. And my husband, actually, I think he probably did it first, when we were in the parking lot. Yep. And we needed, we didn't have a sound system. We were borrowing somebody's every Sunday. Yep. And so we decided that we wanted to sow a seed. And so we got a sound system for the church. And then Justin was like, well, we need somebody to run it. And so my husband.
Yeah, what good is the system if you don't?
Right. So my husband learned how to run sound. Okay. And so he started there. And I just, you know, offered to help wherever I could. And I still, even now, like, my official role, I think, is communications and helping with marketing. But I'm like everybody else that just kind of pitches in wherever needed. Yeah. So yeah, that's been our experience. It is, we're not going anywhere. We're, and it's been really cool watching the church grow from that 20 some odd people on the Zoom that first Sunday to now we're getting to the point where we're having to look for more chairs in the gym.
That's a good problem.
That is.
Yes. So those of you music ministers, or if you know of people who are looking for a part-time opportunity to serve a congregation in the Charlotte, North Carolina area, this is a great opportunity, a great ministry to be connected with. And especially if you have a heart for a young church, a church that is 4 years old, but has been growing and experiencing some success, as well as some challenges.
That's right.
Okay? As with any ministry, regardless of the age, there are going to be challenges. But we are here today to talk about this position that you have open, part-time minister of music. Say a little bit about your philosophy of music, Pastor Justin, or the role that music and worship has in the life of Open Arms.
I tell you, I'm glad you asked me that, man. So we've always, I mean, I've come from like different type of worship music. I grew up listening to Conspirators and Keith Wonderboy, Mighty Clouds of Joy.
Yeah, so let me just say, he's probably gonna ask any candidate if they know a little bit of Keith Wonderboy Johnson.
See, I would know a lot about you if you know Keith Wonderboy Johnson. And spirituals. If you know something about that, then we working with something. But no, man, worship. You kind of seen it over the years. You see how important worship is when it comes to any church size. It don't even matter. And for me, for how I see things and the way I was raised, worship is so important to the point where some people they come to church, they want to get there and they want to be ushered into the presence of God. Well, they look for the worship team to usher them into that. They look for the worship team to guide them they look for that sound. They want to hear that sound that's going to get the mindset right, get the spirit right. But even before the word comes, And here at Open Arms, man, so how we came up with the name for Open Arms, it ties right into worship. That it's all about the prodigal son coming home. And when he came home to his father, he didn't come to a father with crossed arms. He came to a father with open arms.
All right.
After all the mess ups,
Yes.
after everything he has spent his money on wild living, the Bible says, and all the things that he had done, the father still had his arms open to him.
Absolutely.
And when you come to Open Arms, the one thing we pride ourselves on is making sure we keep our arms open to everybody. We want the love of God to be in the place, because the Bible makes it clear we have the ministry of reconciliation. So for every department, even at the pastoral department, you have the ministry of reconciliation. You can't pass judgment on by anybody, because the Bible tells you whatever line you judge somebody would be used, the same line will be used with you. So here we are. We have the ministry of reconciliation in every department that we have. That's how we carry ourselves. Even in the worship department, that sound has to come from a place where God has reconciled some things in your own life. That's why I'm big, even with myself, I'm big about what you do in your private time. That stuff is going to show up on the stage. See, you can fake a lot of things. You can fake that, you can fake this, but that fruit will remain, baby. That's one thing you can't fake. And so what you do in private, the Bible said he will reward publicly. And so we're looking for, and we got to talking about this early on, we're looking for someone. I mean, I'm new to this whole platform, but I'm kind of in tune with people who are just coming to look for a gig. You know, it's hard to kind of weave through that whole thing. But at the end of the day, that fruit is the one thing you cannot hide.
Yeah.
You can't hide that. If you're looking for a gig, this might not be the place for you. If you're looking for something where you get up there, yes, people, they have vocals, they can play the mess out of instruments and all that kind of thing. Doesn't mean you can usher in somebody into the presence of God. That doesn't mean that. That word, that life, how you live your life will usher people in. People can see that. And so we are looking for people with that same mindset. I have the ministry of reconciliation. That's one. If you don't know anything, what else to do with your life, I don't know my calling, I don't know this. Well, you still have the ministry of reconciliation. That right there remains the same. And so for this worship leader, for whoever it is that we're talking to on this line, man, we want people to feel like this is an avenue back to God. That's the way we would like for this to go.
Amen. Thank you so much for that. Nikki, did you want to add to what?
Yeah, just a couple of quick things. I think that, we were joking earlier about the Keith Wonderboy and Mighty Clouds of Joy.
That's my stuff right there now.
But we have a really strong core worship team of singers and some musicians, and I think that we've been really blessed in that way. And as Pastor was talking about, so much of what we do, we really want to be guided by the Spirit. So during worship, it carries over into the music. It is not uncommon for us, and this just happened at service this weekend and the last weekend, where that you can feel the Spirit in the room, and then the worship team starts taking, like, they have the songs that are planned, but then they start moving into wherever the Spirit is leading that day.
Absolutely.
And so, we definitely want people who have a good repertoire, who have a good mix of, the CCM, the gospel, the spirituals, the anthems, the traditional, like the Keith Wonderboy, that might come in. We love, our team loves mixing it up, even with different genres.
Yeah.
And because we are a multicultural church, multi-generational, we are non-denominational, we are open to everybody. And so we also want to make sure that the worship experience feels welcoming to anybody that might walk in the door too. And we have people that are coming in from different backgrounds. So, you know, some are coming in from Southern Baptist, and, you know, others are coming in, they've never been in church before. So we want to make sure that we're reaching, you know, anybody that might come in so they don't feel excluded, but also that they feel like there's something there for them. And it might not be that every Sunday, but, you know.
Not only that, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Pastor.
Not only that, I know different backgrounds, I mean, different races and all that kind of stuff, but also when you say different experiences, we have people that are coming in that have been molested, people that are coming in that have contemplated suicide. And so if you coming in there with your attitude, coming in there with your political ideologies, this might not be the place for you. It has to be the spirit of reconciliation for us. We pride ourselves on show, grow, and go. That's our mission statement. We show, grow, and go. What do I mean by show? We show the love of Christ. Why? Because he did it for us. It says, love the Lord your God and with everything that you have in you. And then it says, love your neighbors as yourself. Guess where you are on that chart? You are number 3. It's God, neighbor, and you. You are 3. You are the third piece on that chart. And then we said we grow. We want to grow. How do we grow? We increase our knowledge of Jesus Christ. You got your lifestyle, how you read, how you pray. It shows up and people can feel that. And then you go. We pride ourselves on going. What I mean by go? Go and preach the gospel to all nations. We go and preach this word to everybody. White, black, yellow, brown, it doesn't matter. If you came from Mississippi or you came from Charlotte, the Bible tells you to preach the word of God to everybody, because his mission, he says, I wish that none should perish. We should have that same mindset, not turning away people. We are inviting people to be a part of God's kingdom.
Good. For those, I see some more folks have joined the room. I just want to say hello to and acknowledge your presence. And I think even one of the candidates that has applied for the job is here. All right, Tobias, I see you, man. He says he'll be visiting the church soon. Talented brother from the Greensboro area.
We'd love to have you.
Yes. And there's some others that have joined as well. I want to shift very quickly. And Nikki, you probably could respond to this. Can you talk specifically about some of the like musical and technical skills that are needed for a candidate to be successful in this environment?
Yeah. I kind of mentioned earlier, having a diverse background of music helps. Having that deep repertoire. Pastor is good for being like, give me a little bit of that. And so our team has to be ready to jump right in.
Right.
And then definitely being able to direct the musicians. So if you have MD experience, that is helpful. Being able to lead rehearsals and teach parts. So that is also something that we're looking for. And we definitely are looking for somebody who can play, in particular, piano or keys and or guitar, because we want people that, if we needed them to, they could lead worship from the instrument. So those are just a couple of the things that we're looking for. Definitely, being able to do song selection, working with what the pastor's message is. And we normally do like a different series each month. So you'll have that in early enough time where you can prepare songs for things like that. We are looking to, we have, and this is kind of one of the challenges that we've had that we're looking for somebody to help us with, is getting back on a regular rehearsal schedule for our worship team. Yeah. So somebody who can help us to do that as well. I'm trying to think of some of the other things that.
Can you describe just really quickly, Nikki, what a Sunday morning looks like in terms of like setup and prep at this particular juncture in the life of the church? It's a relatively new ministry. you're meeting in the gym of a middle school. Is a middle school, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So talk a little bit about those kinds of realities.
So we have a setup and breakdown team. They come on Saturday afternoons and they set up everything, the chairs, the sound system, instruments on the stage, mics, all of that stuff. So we're not looking for the person in this role to do that. We have a team that does that setup.
Good.
And breakdown. Normally right now, until we can get on a regular schedule during the week for rehearsal, our worship team rehearses before service. So service starts at 9:45, but our worship team ends rehearsal around 9:15 because we do a huddle for all of our leadership, volunteers, and worship team. Where we pray and
call time on Sunday.
Yeah, call time on Sundays. We have moved to doing 7:30 so that there's time to work with the musicians and the singers before service starts. We do have let's see. And I just saw the question that popped up about the different platforms.
Mm-hmm.
I do not want to tell you the wrong name of the system that we use for but we have one where you're for getting the songs, the lyrics, the copyrights, all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And
is it Planning Center?
We do use Planning Center.
Okay.
And what else? We have someone who puts the lyrics up, like works with putting the lyrics up on the screens and things like that. So so once we get the song selections for the week and the version of the song that's going to be used, then they put that together. So that's something that you wouldn't have to do as well. We have someone that does that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what Tobias is asking, do you all require that your MD or minister of music be knowledge of Ableton, Logic, any of those? Those are like professional recording mechanisms. Have you all sung with tracks before, or
we have
stems?
Okay. We've worked with stems before. That's not foreign. No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. That's good. Because a lot of musicians integrate those kinds of things into, blend them in with live instrumentation. That so I think he's asking from that standpoint. Yeah.
So on a typical Sunday, there's someone on keys, drums. We may have a bass player, or may or not. It depends on the Sunday.
Yeah.
And we typically have 4 singers on the stage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. Good. Very good. Folks, this is Pastor Justin Griffith and Nikki Bradley representing the Open Arms CLT based in Charlotte, North Carolina. They are seeking a new part-time minister of music, someone to come in and that is willing to show, grow, and go with the ministry. Okay?
You got it.
And not just somebody that's going to come in and collect the check and leave and not really connect and build.
Come on.
Okay? The position is currently on my website as well as on the church's website. And you see the website ticking there across the screen there. Or you can also go to my website, drtonymcneil.com/jobs, to view the position description. And at the end of the position description are instructions, specific instructions on what you need to submit to apply for this job. This position is still open and will be open until the position is filled. So if you know of somebody in the Charlotte, North Carolina area or vicinity within a reasonable driving distance that would be a good fit for this congregation, send them this live or tag them in this live. Send the link to Open Arms, the church website there, or the website to the job board, and have them check out the position. And if they feel like it's a good fit for them, please encourage them to apply. All right. So any parting words, Pastor Justin or Nikki, before we sign off?
Nikki?
I'm just excited to see who God sends. I know that there is somebody who is ready to step into this and really help usher into open arms into our next season.
Yeah.
As far as the development of our worship area. We have a lot of kids that are very involved in worship.
Yeah.
They have their own worship service, and so this
Now,
person
is
would
there-
have oversight for that.
Okay, there's somebody that's overseeing that.
Yes. So we have a team that works with our youth for worship, but this person would have oversight for that as well, making sure that they're in alignment with what we're doing in the main service. We had our first service with dancers at Christmas, so that may be coming back. So this person would also be responsible for the arts component for worship.
They don't necessarily have to be choreographed.
They don't have to be choreographers. We have those.
We had a whole bunch of dancers in there between Nikki and Kim and Mia and some other people. They are solid on that. But
yes, they are.
Yeah, man. But no, I would say, man, hey, we know God is going to he's going to send the right person in this season. We are in an area where we are growing, and we have prayed about it. We have seen God do amazing things already, and people are coming. And as the person who's applying from this job, just know that this is a ministry position. I mean, you are ministering to hurting people. You are ministering to people who are looking for answers. You are ministering to people who are trying to find a way. And if you keep that perspective, you will always be in line with what God wants you to be. You always stay in line what he wants you to do. And that's so important to me, because we are going to be held accountable for what we do with the sheep that God has entrusted us to have. So that's one of the things that's important to me. I know it's important to our church. And I know one day when we stand before him, we want to hear him say, "Servant, well done," on everything that we have had. So,
amen. Amen. Before I go, if anybody that's on now has any questions about the job for Nikki and or Pastor Justin, please put those in the chat. I want to make sure that I can see, especially our friends that I think I'm streaming live on Instagram also. So if those of you that are on Instagram or YouTube, we're streaming there, have any questions before we log off, if you will type those in, that will be great. That would be great. That would be great. So Nikki, just to, before we go, what are some of the songs that Open Arms really enjoys? What are some of the things that y'all have been singing in worship lately that really resonate with your congregation?
Well, I'll tell you this past Sunday, we had one of our pastors on the teaching team did an original song. So his first time writing a worship song. So he played the keys. Our worship team learned the song, and it was really cool. His son was playing the drums, and his wife was singing with our worship team this Sunday. So that was really cool. Some of the songs that are heavy in rotation for us. Let me see. They will go into oh Lord, what is the song?
I can tell you, this past Sunday we did Lamar Campbell's song, "I Love You, Jesus." I worship and adore you. We did that. We do some Maverick City songs.
Yes.
Done some
Elevation sometimes.
Songs. We've done all those songs. But I'm praying that God would send the person that would create the sound for Open Arms, because there is a sound that we're looking for. And it doesn't have to be like everybody else's sound. It can be some Keith Waterboy Johnson mixed in with some Elevation, mixed in with a little bit. It can be some of that. So
for those of you with your bingo cards.
I like it. I like it. I miss the days when we had choirs in the church. I miss all those days. But God has a way of doing all things new. So I mean, across every job, I love when we sprinkle in a little country music in worship.
Yeah,
it reaches across the aisles. You have to be willing to reach across anywhere so people can feel you right where you are. That's right where you are.
Very good. All right, folks. Thank you both for being here. I'm going to repost the job, the link to the job underneath this video, so it's connected to those that watched the playback. And if you have any questions or want to be in touch with the folks at Open Arms, you can always leave a question or comment there, and either I or Nikki or somebody from the church will be monitoring the comment section, and we'll respond to you. Thank you all so much for joining this pop-up conversation with Dr. Tony Mack. And thank you, Pastor, and thank you, Nikki, for being here and entrusting me as your worship consultant to help you in this search for a new part-time minister of music. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining. Y'all tag some folks. I see Tobias, you've been tagging folks. Thank you so much. Those of you that watch the playback, tag some folks in this video so we can continue to get the word out and help this wonderful church find the leadership that it so rightly deserves. Right? Good afternoon, everybody. Take care. All right. We're signing off.